Hello, good evening, kia ora everyone, and vanakkam. Namaste, namaskar, namaskaram. I hope that every one of you is doing well. I am your trendy Thalaiva Selva, and you are with me this Wednesday. And I also would want to say that last week, due to some changes in the schedule, I couldn't join you all. But I'm happy to see you all again after a bit of like break. I hope every one of you is doing well and is at the end of the day, looking forward by the mid of the week, looking forward to the weekend. And You all must have been like doing well, I hope. And It's happy for me to be here with you again in one more show, and wanting to share some thoughts, information, and the trendy things that are happening right now. So yeah, let's dive into the show. As always, like I've wanted to start the show with a Tiru Kural, and the Kural that I actually have for you is something related to truth, and also the way we speak and communicate with people. So the Kural for today is Yakavara inum nakaka kavakal sogapar sol irukupattu, which means that anyone should be very mindful about what they speak and how they speak with people. And in case if they don't, and then use like some rude words, bad words, and stuff, they always will be facing the consequences later. So yeah, apparently it's good for us to be polite, kind, and also empathetic to people when we interact with them. Let's be mindful of the fact that everyone's life is different. They all must be going through something or the other that we don't know, or like we perhaps might not be able to understand why someone is like behaving in a similar or like some ways. So it's always good idea to be polite and kind, and when we speak, use terms and the language that are like not so rude to them, and be mindful of their ethnicity, race, religion, caste, and creed. Interestingly, there are like a lot of things happening in the world in the last 2 weeks. Specifically, there has been like a lot of disturbing news coming in from parts of the world where you all might be aware that. There is an attack by the group Hamas with some of the hostages that they hold from Israel, and Israel striking back Gaza. And The issue between Palestine and Israel has been like going on for a while. I too hope and pray that peace prevails, and the issues would be settled soon, and the Palestinians actually deserve to get back their land, and Hamas should perhaps like release the hostages they have with Israel as well. I also hope that this does not escalate into a larger war. There's already one war happening between Ukraine and Russia for quite some time now, which has been like disturbing for so many people across the world. So my heart goes out to everyone who is suffering, and or perhaps someone who is in the verge of like losing someone, or like perhaps someone who have lost someone from their family. So yeah, let's all pray and hope, folks, that all of these wars come to an end. um, what is the kind of like topic that we are going to talk about today? You all must be excited and looking forward to it. And I've got some exciting news this week, and we're going to speak about something that's close to my heart, as I always say, it's sports. In my last episode, I shared about the Australian Football League and the grand final that happened in that week. And this week, as many of you would be already following, we are going to speak about something that is sports spectacular that actually happened recently. It's not about the World Cup cricket though. We are going to talk about the latest edition of the Asian Games that was held in Hangzhou, China province, from the 23rd September to 8th October. It has been like an amazing feat of performance by the Indians in this Asian Games. Without further ado, let's actually see what did we do and what we achieved. So India finished an overall fourth in the medals tally in the Asian Games of 2023, and this has been India's best ever medal haul in this Asian Games or a quadrennial event, with a total of 107 medals. India's medal tally comprised of 28 gold medals, folks, 28 gold, and 38 silver medals and 41 bronze medals. India also managed to top the medal table in four different events at this edition of the Asiad or Asian Games, which is actually India topped the medal tally in archery category, which I practice as a sport. So as an archer, nothing makes me proud than like India hitting and getting some medals. We'll talk in detail about like what categories in archery we got those medals later in the show. And we also topped the table in cricket. I think cricket was also introduced as a part of Asian Games. An interesting news that I heard yesterday is that cricket is going to be included as one of the Olympic sport in Los Angeles 2028 and in Brisbane 2032. I'm pretty sure that we are going to get some more gold medal folks in this category. Let's look forward to that. And then India also topped in the sport of kabaddi and hockey. It's pretty cool to see like India regaining that momentum in hockey, which is one of our what to say a forte in the past, and somewhere in between, like we had lost the plot, but now actually we are gaining that back, which is pretty good. So that there are like so many good medal probabilities for us in the Olympics, which is scheduled in 2024 in Paris. Let's look forward to that. So that also brings me to share some history about like the Asian Games, how it started, how it was played, etc. So let's just dive in and then look at how and what Asian Games is all about. So Asian Games is also known as the Asiad. It is a major multi-sport event held once in 4 years, very similar to Olympics. It's not held every year; it's once in 4 years. It's like a big event. Bringing together athletes from all across Asia. Asia is such a big continent, no? Like if you look at the continent and the world, Asia has like so many people. Like if you take China and India, almost like one third or like more than one third of world population is there. So quite a bit of talents there. So they all get a big stage to come and exhibit whatever talents they've got. It serves as a platform for promoting sportsmanship, exchange of culture, and the regional unity across Asia. So this explores the history of Asian Games, the highlights of its evaluation. We'll look into the significance of the sport and the impact that actually has on the sporting landscape in the Asia. In terms of the historical background, the Asian Games, the idea of organizing a Pan Asian sporting event emerged somewhere in the early 20th century. So it's not too old, inspired by the success of the Olympic Games. So, Olympics game actually came before Asian Games. The formation of Asian Athletic Federation in 1912 actually laid the groundwork for such a event. However, it was not until after the World War II that concrete steps were taken towards realizing this vision of having a sport where we bring all Asian athletes together. So, in the inception and in the early stages, the first ever Asian Games were held in New Delhi in India in 1951. How proud we are the first ever Asian Games host in the history. And this event, known as the first Asian Games, featured athletes from 11 countries participating in six different sports disciplines. So the game, when it began, only had like six categories of sports being played. The games aimed to foster goodwill and understanding among Asian nations. See, sometimes like some of these activities that are not happening due to the diplomatic tension between countries, the sports actually breaks that barrier, as we always know. Like sports bring people together. So um, Also, like, providing a platform for the athletes to showcase their talents and skills. India's initiatives and the support of the Asian Athletic Federation were instrumental in making this event a reality. In terms of the success of the first games, and following the first inaugural success, the Asian Games then expanded in subsequent years. It started to grow. The number of participating nations steadily increased with time, and reflecting the growing interest and significance of this event. The games also witnessed the inclusion of new sports discipline as it grew, broadening the range of competitions, and the expansion also allowed for greater representation and diversity, promoting inclusivity among Asian nations. In terms of the political and geopolitical significance, the Asian Games have often served as a platform for diplomatic engagement and peace building efforts between countries. The event has witnessed instances of sporting diplomacy where political tensions were eased or resolved through friendly competition and cultural exchange. Notable examples include the participation of both North and South Korea in the Busan 2002 Asian Games, which contributed to a thaw in the inter-Korean relations. We have always known that North and South Korea always have like tussle between their political counterparts, but games do bring people together. So that's why sports is important, folks. Like, please appreciate and follow sports if you don't. And then promotion of cultural exchanges. So the Asian Games celebrate the diversity of Asian cultures, fostering cross-cultural exchanges among participating nations. And the opening and the closing ceremony showcase vibrant displays of traditional arts, music, and dance. Like, one thing that I always enjoy about this Olympics and then the grand scale event is basically their opening and closing ceremonies. You get to see like a plethora of like different folks and artists and culture, and the display of colors. It's so good. And athletes and officials interact during the game, promoting understanding and friendship beyond the nations and boundaries. You can actually often see that, in javelin throw, Neeraj Chopra, our gold medalist champion, always celebrate the athlete from Pakistan, Nadeem, who is also equally good and great, so that they have like a beautiful friendship. And in terms of how the sports have evolved, in terms of like improving sporting facilities and infrastructure, every time hosting the Asian Games has encouraged all these nations to invest in sports infrastructure and facilities. So you also might remember that Delhi hosted the Commonwealth Games in 2010. I was in Delhi at that time, and I actually saw the way Delhi's infrastructure was like developed, and how we got some cool sporting facilities. So events like this actually encourages government and also people to invest their time to be able to get some great like sporting infrastructure that would help aspiring athletes. So to accommodate the growing scale and requirement of this event, all the host cities have, in the past, have developed the state of the art stadiums, arenas, and athlete accommodations as well. These investments have not only enhanced the overall sporting experience, but also has left a legacy for the host country's sports development, and also has setting new standards for any countries that wants to host the game in the future. And then the impact on Asian sporting landscape, if you see, so the Asian Games have played a pivotal role in shaping the sporting landscape of Asia, by providing a platform for athletes to compete at an international level. It's like kind of like you're rehearsing in an international level. That's kind of like something that helps you to train for Olympics, to stage your talent and showcase your skill set. And The games have nurtured talent and inspired generation of athletes across the continent. Many Asian athletes have excelled at the Asian Games, they have also gone further and have succeeded in Olympic Games and in other global sporting events, including the World Championships. So we also saw about like how hosting such large scale games can have an impact on the infrastructure in terms of like hosting the Asian Games. It has had like significant impact on sport development as well for the countries those hosted these. So if we go back and then look at what sort of like sports development has happened in the past, so hosting an Asian Games requires the construction and improvement of sporting facilities and infrastructure, as we spoke. And host countries have invested in building state-of-the-art stadiums, arenas, training centers, and athlete accommodations. These development not only enhance the sporting experience during the games, but also after the games are over, it provides long-term benefits by leaving a lasting legacy for the country's sports development. So these infrastructure can be used for like supporting people that come and want to train in the future, want to use that facility, and also like have that sort of like state of the art infrastructure being available to them. So the improved infrastructure serves as a catalyst for the growth of various sports and encourages the participation of local athletes in various competitions. And the second component that I think is important is that it also increases participation and facilitate some grassroots developments as well. So the Asian Games generate enthusiasm and interest in sports among the general population of the host country. The event inspires young athletes to take up sports and pursue its excellence. The exposure to high level competition and the presence of top athletes from across Asia often motivates local talent to train harder and aim for international success. These increased participation at grassroots level contributes to the overall development of sports of the host country. And hosting the Asian Games also provides opportunity for the host countries to invest in athlete development programs and support systems. So to be able to compete at high levels, country focuses on identifying and nurturing young talents, providing specialized coaching, and offering financial support to the athletes. The preparation for the games encourages the establishment of sports academy, training camps, and talent identification programs. These infrastructure and support system benefits not only the athletes participating in the game, but the broader sporting community of the host country. The next thing I want to emphasize is upon the international exposure and experience. So the games offer host countries the chance to showcase their sporting capabilities and host cities to be able to like showcase their talent and capabilities at the international stage. So this exposure generates interest from athletes, coaches, sporting organizations around the world, and as a result, host countries can often attract international events, training camps, and collaboration with foreign sports institutions. This exposure and experience contribute to the overall growth and development of sports in the host country by fostering international partnerships and knowledge exchange. Also, I think it's a great boon for the economy. Like sports brings in like a lot of people from various places to come in. People come to travel. People spend money. They watch sports. Overall the buzz has been like great, and also with like improvement in technology, there's been like a lot of people who watch the game on TV. So there's like broadcasting rights, revenue generated through advertisements, and it's very very good for the economy of the host country, like when you are actually hosting an event of such a large scale. And finally, we also need to talk about the legacy and the long-term impact these games have. So, hosting an Asian Games leave a lasting legacy beyond the event itself. Like the event is over, done, but history always remember what happened in that event. So, you've been like talking about like long-term impact and the sort of like motivation and inspiration that it could bring to an entire like future generation. So, the sporting facilities and infrastructure development for the games continue to benefit the host country's sport development long after the event concludes. So these facilities provide platforms for hosting national and international sporting events in the future, promoting sports tourism and facilitating regular training and competition for local athletes. So the legacy of hosting the Asian Games serves as a foundation for sustained sports development in the host country. Imagine like 10 years later, I go to the stadium where someone like a role model for me had actually participated. Imagine the vibe that I would get, as an athlete. So hosting a game and, hosting a game of such a scale has a large and long lasting impact. A lot being talked about Asian Games, folks, and also we have seen the history, the impact, the kind of like vibe it could create. But let us just dive into understand how did India did do, in this Asian Games. As I said, India won a lot of medal. To be honest, 107 medals in total, out of which 28 gold medals, 38 silver medals, and 41 bronze medals. I now want to break it into the category of sports like that India performed well, and want to give you the numbers of or the number of medals India won in each category. So we got a total of 22 medals in shooting alone, out of which 7 gold, 9 silver, and 6 bronze. And then the next biggest category of awards that we won is in athletics. This is an area that India has shown a significant improvement over a period of time. And in this year Asian Games, we have bagged a total of 29 medals in the athletics event alone, including 6 gold, 14 silver, and 9 bronze medal. Archery, my favorite sport, and India has been actually topping the table in the archery competition this year, with 5 gold medal, 2 silver, and 2 bronze, overall 9 medals. And then India also have a great number of medals in squash, 2 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals, total of 5. India has been topping the table on cricket. Without being said, India plays like great cricket. So we have 2 gold medals both in the men and women cricket category this year. We have 2 gold in kabaddi. Again, like that's one of the event that we topped. We have 3 medals in badminton, where we have 1 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze each. We have 2 in the tennis, 1 gold and 1 silver. We have 2 in equestrian this time. Equestrian, again, like India has topped this as well this time. um Normally not many of us like watch or like talk about equestrian. It's an interesting sport, like and it's really good to see that India doing well and winning 1 gold and 1 bronze medal in this event. Makes us a total of 2 medals. And hockey, again, like we have a gold and a bronze. The men's team did really well, to be able to beat Japan, and also by a significant margin, if I'm not wrong, which is so cool. We have 2 medals out of hockey. In rowing, we've got like 5 medals, which are like 2 silver and 3 bronze. We have 2 silver medals from the chess, and then we have 6 medals from wrestling, including a silver and 5 bronzes. We have 5 medals in boxing, including a silver and 4 bronzes. We have 3 medals in sailing, including a silver and 2 bronzes. We have one from bridge and one from golf. We have one from Wushu, one from Kone. I think I'm spelling it like saying it wrong. Kanoi. 2 from roller skating. 2 from Sipak Takra. I've never heard of this sport name called Sipak Takra. It would be really interesting to understand what sport it is. Maybe we can perhaps do an episode about what the sport is about, how it is played, and what makes India win a bronze medal in that sometime in one of our future shows. We have one bronze medal in table tennis. So those are like all the different categories in which India won medal. And I said that India dominated a few sporting areas where we were the table toppers, where we had the top number of medals, and one of that is like archery. So India's dominant was very evident in the archery arena this year, as it secured 9 medals, including 5 golds, two silvers and two bronze. Korea had a higher number of medal overall in the sport, like if you see, but had lower gold medal count, which is so surprising because Korea has been dominating archery for several years, and archery being like one of the most oldest and cultural sport played in India. It's so good to see that India topping this table and beating Korea here. So the medal winners in archery are like we have gold in compounds men individual, gold in compound men's team, gold in compound women's individual, and gold in compound women's team. So we completely dominated the compound archery Asian Games this time, folks. We also have gold in the compound mixed team, so which means that we have completely swept all the medals in the compound competition this year. We have a silver in compound men individual, we have a silver in recurve men individual, and then we have bronze in compound women individual and bronze in recurve men individual. Sorry, team. Yeah. So we have like two team medals in recurve. I would love to have more medals in the recurve because that's an Olympic sport. Compound archery, unfortunately, is not an Olympic sport. Somewhere in the future, I would love to see compound archery also being a part of the Olympic sport because I think India has like far more chances of like bagging more medals if compound archery is also introduced into an Olympic sport. As I said, India made its cricket debut at this edition of Asian Games, and both our men and women team clinched the gold medal uh, by defeating Sri Lanka. I mean, the women team defeated Sri Lanka, and I think India played the finals with Afghanistan, and India actually won that match due to a higher ranked team because the match was washed out by rain. And India's men hockey team defeated the previous Asian Games champion Japan by 5-1. And on the women's team, on the other hand, lost to China in the semi-final, 0-4, but actually defeated Japan 2-1 to be able to win the bronze medal. So India also dominated the hockey. In kabaddi, we actually won gold both in men's team and also in women's team. And in squash, tennis, and equestrian helped us to complete 28 gold medals for India in Guangzhou. Um, so, in addition to all the medals India got, Hangzhou also had an offer of 74 Paris 2024 Olympic quota spots, out of which six were in archery, 10 in artistic swimming, 34 in boxing, two in breaking, two in hockey, 10 in modern pentathlon, six in sailing, and two in tennis, and two in water polo. India actually secured six quotas overall for Paris 2024 Olympics. That includes four in boxing, and one each in athletics and men's hockey. So India's men hockey team have a quota qualification to Paris 2024 Olympics, folks. I'm so totally looking forward to it. While India finished fourth, we should also be interested in who finished above us and what sort of like medals they have. And as expected, China finished as the table topper with 201 gold medal, 111 silver medal, and 71 bronze medal, taking their tally total to 383. And Japan finished the second with a total of 188 medals, including 52 gold, 67 silver, and 69 bronze. South Korea were just above India with 190 medals in total, with 42 golds, 59 silver, and 89 bronze. Wow. It always excites me to be able to see these countries like, be so good in sports. And it's because that their people cherish, celebrate, take it seriously, and then appreciate their athletes. And we have come a long way in celebrating sports, appreciating our athletes. And so many of us are like, sitting late nights today to watch an athletic sporting competition compared to what we were doing 20 years ago, like 30 years ago, which I'm really, really proud of. So we should always be able to, watch our sports, appreciate our sportsmen, follow them and give that support they need, so that they can actually go forward and then perform well and bring medal back to our country, which will make you and me proud. With that being said, sadly, the Asian Games had to come to an end on 8th of October, which means that we have to take a break from these sports. And then the next big sporting extravaganza of Cricket World Cup have just started. And I think we are in day 6 of the Cricket World Cup. So for the next 1 month, there's going to be like a lot of Cricket World Cup. But we'll continue to talk about like other sports. We'll continue to talk about other things. And as always, like I would love to hear your thoughts, opinions, and feedback. So please do let us know in comment section in case if you want us to talk about anything specific, or you can also send us an email on the email ID indialivepresenters@gmail.com. With that being said, I'm just going to sign off from you. This is me, Trendy Thalaiva Selva, signing off from you. I am looking forward to seeing you all again next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. evening sharp. Till then, take care. Bye. Vanakkam and Nandri.